We're going to be performing fire hydrant liftoffs to help you improve external rotation and abduction of your hips. Initial setup is in a quadruped position, and we want to raise one leg slightly to be able to have a little stretch through the inner thigh. Then we want to make sure that our hips are fully squared up, and we're going to take a yoga block right now and put it on top of her. We want to make sure she can have the yoga block straight at all times and her hips don't rotate. The initial setup needs to be your hips are slightly lower than your shoulders, but your hips are completely squared up. So whatever riser you're going to use, you want to make sure that you only work within your mobility limits. You should feel a stretch through your adductors, but it shouldn't be too much because you need to be able to squeeze the glutes and lift up the knee. You also can use the yoga block to put the weight into something to help you with more leverage. The important part is making sure that your hips stay parallel at all times. So that's why I have the yoga block, just to demonstrate that she doesn't really move the hips. Then the second thing that we're going to do is we're going to engage the core. You're going to push the same side arm into the ground as the leg that's going to be lifting. Here I put a little yoga block so she can drive her feet into the ground, and we're not lifting the whole leg, we're only lifting the knee. So the first thing she's going to do, take the knee, push down for 5 seconds, feel the inner thigh working. Then after that, squeeze the glutes and just lift it up. There you go, lift it, hold it, 3, 2, 1, and put it back down. Every time you want to fight to try to bring that knee a little bit higher. So second time going around, we're going to try to lift a little bit higher, open up the hip. We're trying to keep that pelvis squared up while still lifting, then putting back down. The progression to this exercise is going to be, first you lift the knee, hold the knee. Once you're capable of doing it, lift off the toe a little bit as well and hover the whole leg, then put it down. But when you're doing it, you cannot have the hips rotating when you're trying to lift off the toe. If you notice, when you lift the knee, your hips are squared up, but when you lift the toe, the hips are starting to rotate, then stick only to lifting the knee. The important part is making sure that your hips do not rotate and you're focusing only on a small range of motion when you're lifting up. So don't try to lift as high as possible. Just focus on what your range allows you to do and make sure that your hips don't rotate. I hope that helps. Focus on those details and don't forget, stay fit.